YouTube been fucked up. Now I know I can go live anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I already got banned off of Facebook for going live. I went live on Facebook. I was showing some videos, some music videos for HOODX. Then I got kicked off. I can't go live no more on Facebook. You know, a lot of these artists give me their music videos, and then they ask me to play the shit, and then I play it, and then fucking YouTube and Facebook suspends my account for playing their shit, and then you send them the email, you send them the notification like, hey man, they suspended my account, they suspended my Facebook, they suspended my YouTube for your video, and then they won't even fucking respond to this shit. This is why, like, I don't even play live people. I don't even play, yeah, I'm still driving. I don't even play people's videos, you know what I'm saying, on my YouTube live no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you are people who subscribed to my channel back in the day. They used to remember I used to get it cracking on this motherfucker. I used to have all type of wild shit. But like now I don't even do that no more because YouTube be cracking out so much. And then like the artists who ask you to play the videos won't even have your back when you tell them that YouTube suspended your channel. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is dead. There is now a black YouTube called Black Junction TV. I never heard of that. But I would definitely look into that because you look on my site, HOODX.com, we stream a lot of content, you know what I'm saying, like hip-hop content, basically black shit, you know, black comedy, black Twitter, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all noticed they got this shit on the internet now called Black Twitter. You know what I'm saying? You might want to look at this funny shit that like, I didn't even know there's such a difference as white Twitter and black Twitter, but apparently they have this shit called Black Twitter, which is like the black social consciousness, and like they don't say, you know, the social consciousness of black people, they just say Black Twitter. Now you can look this shit up in the fucking media. It's fucking hilarious, because like every time they show Black Twitter, they fucking, like, you just see ignorant fucking posts, like funny ass posts, and niggas be saying and shit like that. But I used to play music videos on live, you know what I'm saying. You go to HOODX Live, you still see, like, I mean on HOODX.com, you look on my site, you still see videos. You know, I just do them on there now. I don't do them on my YouTube video no more. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm gonna check out that website. But this video, I don't even know if y'all can hear me. This video called the Masculinity Lit. I said I was gonna start doing. I don't know if y'all ready, man, but like now I got this live shit cracking. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting out a lot of content. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of y'all is familiar with my astrology, but you gotta understand I know a lot of metaphysics as well that cross over into the same aspects of astrology. You see what I'm saying? So I want to talk about the Masculinity Lit, which is the concept of like masculinity in the world today. You know what I'm saying? It's tricky, and that like a lot of people use the word masculinity as like almost like witchcraft, and then like, so well, a real man such or a real man such. Like people love to say this shit to kind of like control men type shit. And they're like, well, a real man, but it's like, really, masculinity itself is a black hole, and then like you can literally say, okay, well, like being clean shaven is masculine versus like me having a beard is masculine. You see, I could be here with a wife beater on, or a wife beater t-shirt, and that could be considered masculine. But then at the same time, I could put on a fucking suit and you know, with collars and a tie, and that could be considered masculine. And they're like, masculinity is literally a fucking black hole, and they're like, women more so than men, but like a lot of women like to take masculinity and like, you know what I'm saying, try to use it to say, well, a real man would help a woman, you know what I'm saying, like in certain, like, you know, if you see a woman out fucked up, well, a real man would help a woman type shit, like, well, real men don't hit women, like you hear this all the time, like real men don't hit women, or real men, you know what I'm saying, if you split up, you're supposed to pay, you know what I'm saying, like a real man is still gonna take care of his kids and shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying, or a real man pays his bills, a real man loves his mom, a real man, like, you know what I'm saying, like. But when you really stop and say, like, well, who the fuck is this real man? Like, you know what I'm saying? That people say just the opposite shit. And that, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, for the women, you know what I'm saying, justify the same shit. And they're like, okay, well, so-and-so cheated on me. I ain't gonna never talk to his ass again. Type shit. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? In certain situations, it's okay to completely cut somebody off. Like, I've seen literally, like, total, like, literally both sides of what they say masculine. Like, okay, well, a real man, such. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you turn around and say the total fucking opposite is just as fucking true. So it's like, okay, well, what the fuck is masculine and what the fuck is considered real masculinity? And then, like, you got women now that can be more quote-unquote masculine than men. Like, you look at Ellen DeGeneres, her show, some of the things she says, some of the way she carries herself, the way she acts. Like, she acts, even though she's a fucking woman, like, she actually portrays more typical Western egotistical masculinity more than a lot of fucking real men who on TV who act like fucking homosexuals. Like, you see what I'm saying? So in an age where homosexuality is okay, like this is perfect. Like, you got situations right now, like all this shit going on with fucking sexual harassment going on right now. Like, all these men being fucking thrown under the bus for sexual harassment. Like, they just had like 2 more people today. I don't even I think Dustin Hoffman just recently got accused. Obviously Matt Lawyer is accused. Donald Trump, they bringing his files back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this like air of shit, like Bill O'Reilly got hit with that shit. Fucking Def Jam, Russell Simmons, he got hit with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, all this shit going on sexual harassment right now, and it's like, oh my God, shame on all these men for coming at these women. And like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know how ruthless it got or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, trying to use these men as examples to raise their awareness of sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you look at homosexuality, like the homosexuality agenda, like they was pushing that all last year, like 2016, 2015, and like even early 2000, like you still see some of that homosexuality agenda being pushed. You know what I'm saying? And then like, it was blatantly wrong to discriminate against homosexuality and shit like that. And then like, oh my God, what's the fucking name? I seen a preview. They kept playing this shit like for like about a month straight. What was it called? GG? I think it was a fucking preview. YouTube was like pushing this shit hard as fuck. I think it was called GG. It was a movie about this boy who became like a girl, and he was supposed to be like this big hero for all these transsexuals. You know what I'm saying? And his father, like when he went to basically tell his father that he wanted to be a female, like they showed his father basically like responding to it, and like he was crying. I don't even remember exactly what he said, but I just remember I was like, man, like they just kept playing his fucking trailer. And the more thing that fucked me up more than anything was watching his father try to justify, you know, what was happening. And that like, his father was obviously like heartbroken. You see what I'm saying? That his daughter, his only son, I mean, I don't know if his only son, but his son wanted to be a girl. Now this is obviously gonna take a toll on anybody's father. You see what I'm saying? But what we've been taught in the past like year or two is that like, okay, well, if your son come home and say he gay, you gotta accept that shit type shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, mind you, like this is my literal definition. Like when you say what is masculinity, that is my definition of masculinity is the interaction between a man and his son. That's it. Like you can't say, you know, like, oh, well, God should have bravado, extra bravado, macho, or even not macho, just smooth talking, like, you know what I'm saying, or masculine traits are no longer masculine, that you have women literally hijacking what is considered masculine. Like, so you can't really say that that's masculine anymore. So like, what is masculine? It's okay, the traits of passing on father and son. Father and son is literally like the only thing that men really have left as far as like, you know what I'm saying, what you gonna consider as masculine. So when you hijack that, you say, okay, well, can't do that no more either, because like your son can come home gay and you can't say shit type shit. So like, you literally taking the last little, like that's, like I said, my definition of masculinity, and like really the true definition of masculinity, you see what I'm saying? That shit has been taken from men, from fathers. Like father and son, there's no longer father and son. It's like literally your son can come home gay type shit and you can't do shit. So with that same regard, I was thinking like, damn, okay, well, if my son, if like I was Matt Lawyer's father, if I was Bill O'Reilly's father, God forbid, you know what I'm saying? If I was one of these guys who was going through a sexual harassment case right now, you see what I'm saying? I would rather deal with that than to deal with him coming home and saying he's a homosexual. That's just me. But like the society that we living in, it's like literally you're more expected to tolerate homosexuality more so than sexual harassment. And they're like, okay, ain't that, you know, I'm not trying to even compare them, but I'm just saying, like, if I was a father and like my son came home, like, which two of these evils would you rather deal? I'd rather deal with the sexual harassment more so, they're saying to him coming home saying he gay. You see what I'm saying? But in this society we live in, it's like, well, actually, it's okay to be homosexual. You know what I'm saying? But it's not okay to give unwanted advances onto women, keep pushing yourself onto women. Like, you see what I'm saying? Whereas, like, you go back 100 years, like, it was totally the fucking opposite. It was like, man, like, homosexuality, motherfuckers would kill, especially in the black community, you would get killed. Motherfuckers would kill you for that shit. You see what I'm saying? But you can sarge on a chick as much as you want, and it was fucking fair game. Like, you see what I'm saying? But, like, now, you're starting to see this whole shit is starting to switch. It's like, okay, well, as a man, you see what I'm saying? Especially if you got a son, you see what I'm saying? You're more expected, like, you see what I'm saying? You're in the age where they literally like pumping homosexuality images all through the media, and they're pumping the idea, hey, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be a homosexual, it's okay to be a homosexual. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? But then you turn around and say, well, under no circumstances are you supposed to continuously approach women and harass them sexually. Under no circumstances are you supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, well, which, you just know what I'm saying? Like, society obviously is trying to figure it. Like, these are totally, like, you know what I'm saying? Within the past 2-3 years, these are not necessarily new concepts, but the way that they being thrown at us in order for us to try to figure out where we stand in all of this, you know what I'm saying, media that's being thrown at us, you trying to figure out where you stand in all of this, you see what I'm saying? You can clearly start to see, when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, well, there's obviously some type of agenda going on here dealing with masculinity in the 21st century. Like, so they got this whole shit now called MGTOW, which is men going their own way type shit, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, it's just like men don't even interact with women as a whole type shit. Like, they don't even talk to women, they don't even want to date, they just literally stay home, masturbate, and play video games, and go to work and collect money and just save money type shit. Like, you got these type of dudes walking around, like, they don't literally see no problem with this type of shit. And you be like, well, damn, how the fuck did we get this far into defining masculinity? And that, like, masculinity is so hijacked now. It's like, you cannot. This is why I made this lit. And that, like, you can go read the HOODX lit. If you go to HOODX.com, go to the HOODX lit, you can find this actually lit and read it. And that, like, it expands a little bit more on this concept. But you have motherfuckers back in the day, like Japanese samurais, used to kill themselves. You see what I'm saying? And that, like, if you lost a sword fight, it was expected for you to get down on the ground and kill yourself. Like, this is literally what masculinity was back in Japan. You see what I'm saying? Back in the samurai days, it's like these concepts got carried over, and you watch Star Trek, like the Klingons. Like, if you know what the Klingons are in Star Trek, like, a lot of they traits are like hyper masculine, hyper like barbarian ass traits, and that, like, feminists can use these type of men as, like, you see what I'm saying, tools to push an agenda. And they're like, okay, we need to tone down, like every couple of years they just tone down the level of masculinity type shit. And they're like, okay, well, a real man is this, and now a real man is this, like the new man type shit, like the, what they call that shit, the metrosexual. I think they were saying Kanye at one point was like a metrosexual, and like the toning down of hyper masculine traits. And they're like making motherfuckers, like, I grew up motherfuckers listening to like motherfuckers like DMX, people like motherfuckers used to scream at you while they was rapping, Busta Rhymes, you know what I'm saying, Notorious Big, you know what I'm saying, Tupac, motherfuckers like literally hollering, screaming at you some of the most masculine, barbarian things you ever heard in your life, and you was sitting there nodding your head to it, and it was cool. You see what I'm saying? Like, now, you see what I'm saying? Like, that shit, you hear the motherfuckers like Drake, motherfuckers like chanting and like harmonizing, and motherfuckers like R. Kelly, motherfuckers like Lil Wayne, motherfuckers using auto-tune and shit like that, where it's like a more toned down masculine, you know, term of masculinity type shit. You see what I'm saying? Where you be like, well, just fucking 10, 20 years ago, y'all was throwing fucking Vikings in my face, and now you're throwing fucking Pee Wee Herman looking likes in my motherfucking face type shit. So what the fuck is real masculinity? That's why I truly stand by the definition, like I say, father and son, this masculinity. And they're like, you know, if you white, you could be a white supremacist and you fucking hate black people, and you teaching this to your son. Well, to me, that's masculinity. And like, you could be a black supremacist and fucking hate white people, you teaching to your son, well, hey, to me, like, traditionally, that's masculinity. And then, like, the things that get passed down, even if it is wrong, even if it is narrow-minded in a certain, it's like you say, people typically say humans are flawed, man is flawed. Humans, to be human, when they use the word humanity, is to really truly understand the flaws of man, not necessarily look at man as God, but to understand, like, to really be human, to understand that man comes with flaws. You see what I'm saying? So even when shit gets translated down from one generation to the next generation, you see what I'm saying? Even when it is flawed, it's still man. It's still, that man is that man, and he knows that, like, okay, who he is being placed down into the next generation. Even though he's not going to be physically here to see it, he at least knows that his avatar, who he was intrinsically, was like passed down to his son. You see what I'm saying? When you got the media stepping in between that shit right there, that's like Joe. That's like Joe. Like, hold on, man. Like, it ain't shit left for a man to even be a man. Like, you see what I'm saying? And they're like, I'm not pro sexual harassment. Like, all these things going on with all these men going at women. It should be observed. But when you are shaming that more than homosexuality, like, you gotta step back and look at, like, man, hold on, what the fuck is going on here? Like, where is the room for men to be men type shit? Like, the only thing you got sacred is your fucking kids, and they take that shit from you. In the same aspect that, like, if a woman, like, even in breakups now, like, if a woman come take her kids from the man, it's like literally expected for the man just to, like, accept the shit. Like, okay, well, what the fuck can he do? Like, he can go crazy, he can fucking break shit, he can holler and shit, but, like, we live in a society where it's literally expected. Like, if you go through a divorce and, like, it's like just expected, okay, you just gonna have to kind of just give up your kids, and, like, whatever the fuck they give you, whatever bone they throw you, as far as visitation, as far as, you know, however it's gonna be, it's just, you just supposed to accept the shit type shit. And then, like, you know, we moving into an age where Poe, I don't know if y'all know Poe. Poe taught me this shit a long time ago. It's called the old man lit. Old man lit. It was literally like one of the, it was like nearly like the 5th or 6th lit that we made in the HOODX lit. It was called the old man lit. And basically he was describing the concept. He was saying, you got to be able to go into the future and see yourself as like a 60, 70-year-old man, like right now, even if you're in your fucking 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. Like, you, if you, they call this shit age regression. You're saying, if you know your triggers, this is the difference between what I call psychics and intuition. And then, like I was saying, like, a lot of water signs are intuitive, but they're not psychic. Like how, like me, like when I really think of the concept of the old man lit, I can literally push myself 40, 50 years into the future and looking back right now and like, okay, I do not need to respond to this situation as passionately. I do not need to respond to this situation like the same way. I've been making the same mistakes over and over again. Like, you literally start to see. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, you see what I'm saying? I'm in my 30s. But if I go back to when I was fucking 15, 14 years old, like knowing everything I know right now, I would be ill as hell. So, like, I literally take that same concept and fast forward like 80 years now, like looking back right now, like, okay, well, shit, I'm fucking 80 years old and I'm looking back on my life right now. Like, I ain't got to wait till I'm fucking 70, 80 years old to look back right now. And that's going to make me super defined in all of the decisions that I make and the way that I approach conflict, the way I approach resolutions to things, and, like, you know, how you just let things kind of play out. And then, like, you know, we falling into an age now where it's going to be required for you to, like, time travel. Like, time travel is literally gonna be a requirement. And then, like, if you respond to situations the way the Matrix is forcing you to respond to it, like, literally, it could cost you your life. Like, you go to jail. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna require, like, time travel is gonna be like a fucking requirement. And then, like you're gonna have to know where you're going to be, like, literally, like 30, 40 years from now. And, like, and it's like, because who you are as a person, like men, like intrinsically, is constantly being taken